Hello and welcome back to another episode. I'm Minon J. Work on behalf of the Disgruntled Octopus. He's not here at the moment. He's not this guy here. I know I say that every episode. It always sounds like a introduction to like a Dictators Anonymous meeting. But thank you if you've tuned in, and my sincerest apologies for last video, the audio issue. I thought it would outsmart my breathing. I do have a habit of sounding like Darth Vader. It's probably primarily because of this microphone being too close to my mouth. So I thought I'd move it down, and that backfired spectacularly. So thank you very much for persevering, and I probably just breathed into the microphone. Then, if you do know how to fix that, please let me know in the comment section below. I promise that the Disgruntled Octopus will look fondly upon you when he takes over the world with quite possibly beachside property. So today's video, I want to do a little bit of a discussion point. I did see something come up on Facebook Marketplace or Facebook group for eBay. Which may not be really known across the board. Obviously, seasoned sellers probably would know this, but a lot of the new people coming into the market probably don't. So I want to talk about that also. I want to show you my nightmare package that I've got to send out tomorrow. I've kind of bit myself in the butt with this one. It is board games. I will get to that in a second. And the video, in the Sega Master System game, I will learn to speak one day. Maybe it could be my 2026 New Year's resolution. The Sega Master System we're going to look at today. I'm sorry, Bax. I'm pretty sure it was Bax that asked for it, but we're going to look at Castle of Illusion featuring or starring Mickey Mouse. So this one is a fantastic game. I think it was my first game that my brother got for the Sega Master System. Quite cute and quite easy to go through. So we will talk about that one, and that will be playing for a couple of minutes at the end of the episode. I might flash it up here in a second just to give you a bit of an idea of what it is, but really fun, cute game from the 80s or the 90s. Before we get into today's topic, I do want to kind of give you an indication of how I actually send, don't even have it, I think I've lost it. Send video games and how I send loose cartridges, which were supposed to be in here. It looks like it's fallen out. It's inventory management 101. So it's probably sitting around here somewhere, but it's in a little Ziploc bag. So what I normally do with my cartridges, I don't have one here at the moment. You think I'll be more prepared? Maybe I do. No, I don't. I am useless at preparation, right? So we'll just pretend I do have something. If you're from Australia, you can go to Australia Post and get the international. And I think I talked about these things before. They're like a slip bag, but the little thing you pull off and the back comes off, and they stick to parcels when you send things overseas. I have said this numerous times. I use that to put my video games in, put my loose cartridges in, and pretty much anything else. Skylanders, I normally put them in those as well, just to give it that extra level of protection and a bit of waterproofness as well, if that's a word. So if the cartridge was in here, what I was going to show you how I do it is I basically, for example, I sold a Switch game for $30 or just shy of $30. I'm pretty sure it might have been $27, so the 10% offer. So what I normally do with a Switch only game, I normally put it in a little Ziploc bag. Then I drop that into one of those Australia Post things to give it that double layer. Then I'll drop it into a padded mailer from Australia Post. A lot of people talk about, tracked green envelopes. They talk about how to send video games and all these different things. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, I charge postage for video games, regardless if it's personally, I probably wouldn't sell a $4 video game. However, realistically, I look at it from that perspective. If I was to sell this thing, and for example, this Pokemon game, I would charge, if the going rate's about $40, which this one was for cartridge only, I made it $29.99 plus that $10 postage. I would get a shipping label on it. I don't have to worry about a bloody green envelope and all those different things. So just take into consideration before people jump on the green envelope bandwagon. Everyone knows what my stance on this is. Look at charging plus postage. Realistically, if you're selling a video game for $10 free postage, I used to do it. I can tell you from first hand, a lot of my customer grievances, a lot of my customer issues resulted from the really cheap items. And I'm talking from $0 to probably that $40, $50 mark. After that $40 or $50 mark, realistically, the return on investment for issues, I don't know if that's the best way to articulate that, or the issues arising from those higher dollar items disappear. Like I was saying before, if I sell a $2 Skylander and that's all they do, they put it in they pay $10, I'll probably lose money in that sense, and I do. more often than not, I will have issues with that $1.99 Skylander from that particular person, opposed to someone that's bought 46 Skylanders for $500, or bought a $1,000 Skylander, or a $1,000 video game, or a $1,000 book, or something along the lines of that. So do need to take into consideration when your business matures, start selling outside of those cheap brackets. Start adding plus posts onto everything. Obviously, the niche dictates these things. I am finding at the moment that a lot of people in the Skylander market are trying to change the tide on Skylanders with incorporating free postage. It doesn't work. And I won't tell you why, because obviously I want you guys to work it out yourselves. I can't give you all the secrets, but like I'm saying, is that you really want to be cornering your market, like there's a few of us that have done in the Skylander market, or if you're in video games, or if you're in DVDs, or if you're in media and all these different things. Look at those items that you go $10 plus postage. If you do that, you'll become infinitely easier. Your item not received cases will probably go to non-existent, because I used to send things with $10 free postage. I used stamps, and every probably 4 out of 20 orders would be like, it never arrived, and I really had no grounds to stand on, because I couldn't prove that item hadn't arrived. So realistically, when I do a postage label, obviously a full parcel label per se, I've never had that issue. Probably 1 in 3, 4, 500 orders are what we're looking at for an item not received, and more often than not, it's been probably stolen out of their letterbox, or it's in the process of being sorted somewhere on the other side of the country, which I've got currently at the moment. So where we are, for those that overseas, just say I'm in Canberra on the east coast. I'm not very good at geography. You move up, you got Sydney, then you got Brisbane. So this particular buyer bought something from Brisbane. It's gone to Western Australia, which is all the way over, the west coast, surprisingly enough, to be sorted. So for those in America, it's probably like, if you're with Shane in South Carolina, hopefully he's in South Carolina, where you are now, Shane, you sent it to Shane in South Carolina from Florida, then all of a sudden it went to California to be sorted. That's pretty much what this parcel's done, and I've lodged a case with eBay just to get it sorted and get a little prolonged from that period. So be very mindful that do away with stamps and do away with untracked postage as quickly as you can. And I can't stress that enough. Ooh, the wind's blowing a gale here. So what I do want to talk about today quite quickly before I run off and try and find where I put that little cartridge. It's in a Ziploc bag, so it's not as if it's just sitting around by itself. I did see something on Facebook Marketplace come up. I do want to tell you quite quickly, and I did have it open, my phone's almost dead, and I want to get onto that topic as well. So basically, someone did say, be careful if you go on holidays. eBay will not appeal all cases that occur when you're on holiday. I got 3 strike case on holiday. This is reading verbatim, I can read a little bit. And eBay don't want to do anything about it. Their reason is because all the transactions happen before I go on holiday. Example, sold an item on the 2nd of December, got open case from buyer on the 30th of December whilst he was on holidays. I can't do anything while I'm on holiday. eBay don't care about that. Why? Because the transactions happened before I went on holiday. I'm using kind of a little bit of verbatim now. It's an easier speak pattern. They expect us to monitor all our eBays even whilst on holidays. Do you guys think this is fair? Edit, what I mean by holidays is overseas. So someone obviously, and by all means, I'm not taking a swipe at their use of English language. They are probably not a native English speaker, it might be a second language. But so generally what he's saying is that if I sell something today, go to Japan next month, and a item not received case comes up, or an item not as described case comes up, what should I do? Should I be liable? Should eBay go, hey, look, he's on time away mode, or he's away from from his business. Let's give him a slack. What it really comes down to, and I haven't read the comments, but I dare say that a few people in the comments section have said this, is that you really don't walk away from your business. I know this guy might go, hey, look, I'm on holiday mode. I'm literally shutting up shop. See you later. You really want to be taking your phone with you, or a computer with connection, with at least checking eBay once a day, twice a day, if you can get around with that, or have someone back here or wherever you are that obviously can assist in that response, in that sense. We'll go with that. For example, if I went over to Japan, for example, I would just say to my mum, which has got access to both my accounts, saying, hey, let me know if anything pops up. Personally, I'd be checking eBay as well, because I'd probably be over there sourcing, right? But I'd have that person here as a fail-safe in case I lost reception, or if something happened where I wasn't being able to be communicated with. My mum would at least have the very, very, very basic knowledge on how to action that. She might not know what to do, especially if an item not received comes up or an item not as described case comes up. However, she would be able to write back to that person and say, hi, thank you, Joshua's currently overseas at the moment. He'll get back to you within the next 12, 24 hours, whatever it is from that way. You cannot shut your account down and just go, hey, look, I'm no longer in the country. I don't hold a hose. See you later. And that's a reference to our politics section. So if you do get that reference, let me know. But like I was saying, is that you can't wash your hands clean of it. So you really, really, really need to be very vigilant. Even if you're outside the country, if you're local, or if you're going camping, you really need to have some sort of communication or someone monitoring that whilst you're away, just to keep on top of those cases. Because like he said, is that you will get strikes against your account in the sense that you'll fall below standard. If you fall below standard, I have said this numerous times before, is that you'll get a 5% excess fee. So you'll have your base final value fee plus 5%. If you're doing promoted listings, you've probably got 5% on top of that. You've got 5% on top of your postage. You've got all these different things that come into play. So you really, really run the risk of negative feedback. You run the risk of below standard. And eBay's stance is that you didn't respond to the customer. Too bad, so sad, get over it. So really, 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 if you if you are new to reselling, or if you haven't come across this scenario before, because you're using reselling to maybe fund a holiday, or maybe you fund something that you can do to go away for a couple of days and just forget about eBay in the back of your mind, it's not really the case. Like really, if you want it to be that way, you're probably having to turn off your store maybe 31 days before you go on a holiday, so you don't have anything in that 30-day transaction or a 30-day preceding period for it to go wrong. But then you probably need to go further back as well, because obviously if you've got items that are currently in transit, that 30-day return period, or that item not received period per se, doesn't actually start until that item arrives or is marked delivered. So potentially maybe looking at 60 days for closing your account down, not selling anything before you go on holidays, just to be safe. Then, as I found with the lava lamp last year, basically they can do a credit card chargeback or a PayPal chargeback up to 6 months. So you're now looking at probably at 6 months before you go on a holiday, not making any sales. So you really need to look at it from the bigger picture is, maybe paying someone $50, like, hey, monitor my eBay account for a week because I'm literally going to the middle of nowhere that has no reception. Write to them, tell them the very basics of what to do. If you get an item not received case, like I said before, if you need to send everything tracked, just upload the tracking and say, hey, look, it's been delivered, go away. And if it has been delivered to the right place, eBay will cover you. There's no further action from that way. So you really, really, really need to do those things as well. So when you get return requests, it's the exact same thing. So if a return arrives when you're on holiday, you still need to be, refunding that money within 3 days, or whatever it is, with that return being delivered, regardless if you're in the country, regardless if you're in the area or not. So this is why personally I don't use post boxes, PO boxes, or parcel lockers, all these different things. If they come here and I'm away for some reason, which I can't think of it at the top of my head other than a holiday, my wife or someone here looking after the place would be able to take care of that package for me. They go, hey, look, opened it up, it looks fantastic. We just have to take their word for it. So do take that into consideration. Going back to my nightmare sale, what I quite teased at the start. So I just went tripping over a box. This is almost the most complete set of Dark Souls. I think I have spoken about this before. This is that big Dark Souls lot I picked up a couple of weeks ago. So I paid $300 for a massive amount of Dark Souls. So the only thing, all the rest was sealed. So maybe what you see here, I probably got twice the amount of what you see here being sealed, and 4 of those sets were the Kickstarter exclusives, and I have spoken about Kickstarter exclusives before. I've pretty much got all those listed between $300 and $400 each. I paid $300 for the entire lot, right? So these ones all here are actually open. They're figures, like you've kind of like your Dungeons and Dragons and your Warhammer kind of things, just like monsters and all these different things. When I was going through the part list, what I found out is that the person that bought them on, actually, he gets his kicks, I think that's probably the best way to say it, for setting up games. So he didn't actually play the game himself, he actually likes setting up for other people. So that's what really gets him going from a game perspective, right? So we've got Dungeon Masters that identify themselves as Dungeon Masters, and this guy just likes setting up games for the sake of setting up games. So he never actually played it. He's got it all down here in this little crate down here, so I will show that. There's a wee Mickey Mouse, I'm going to bring it up. So all these games have got cards and they've got little tokens and they've got little dice and all these different things that come into consideration with the game, right? So this guy is pretty much, if your page is watching, he'll know what I'm talking about. He's pretty much put all the cards in the game and all the little cardboard monster cards, I suppose for lack of a better term, into penny sleeves, so like little plastic protectors. He hasn't used them. He's pretty much got all the tokens and all the things and all these different things from all those expansions mixed into that crate. So when you play the base game, you can obviously add expansions. I know you're not stupid, so this is going through the motions for those that people don't know about board games. So you can add the expansions into the game and play it from that way. So this guy's actually, all those open boxes, he's put that stuff in there. And with these boxes, and I'll grab one open at the moment, we're going to look at the Gaping Dragon expansion, right? So strap yourselves in, nerds. So you've got the booklet here, which basically just gives you a very, very, very minute overview of the rules of the game. It doesn't give you a part list. Yeah, some board game elements obviously add to the main game. And you've also got a dial, which I've already taken out, and you've got the character on the bottom of those. When I was going through these boxes, I got excited because I had the cards already in there. I thought this is fantastic, but they're actually the other language cards. They might be like French or they might be Spanish or something along that. So you've got the Gaping Dragon on the bottom. You probably can't see, but there you go. You can't really see. But anyway, take my word for it. So I got excited because these expansions go for about, maybe in this condition, depending on the character and the expansion, they're brand new. You know, like I said, they're just open box. He hasn't played with them. He's just penny sleeved the cards. They'd probably go for that $50, $60 an expansion, if they're brand new and sealed, up to $150, depending on the character and the monster. But like I'm saying, is long story short, he mixed it all in there, and I have no time-efficient way of actually stripping everything out, working what it is, and putting it back into the thing, where it becomes a nightmare. And for some stupid reason, instead of going onto YouTube or something along the lines of that, and going, all right, the Gaping Dragon has this card, this card, this card, this token, this potion, token, whatever you want to go from that way, and working it that way, maybe spending a couple of hours to basically split it all up, put it back where it is, and sell it piece by piece. I, being an idiot that I am, decided to sell it as one bulk lot. I thought, well, I'll sell it for $425, plus $50 post. They can deal with it and go from there. It's sold for $400 plus that $50 post. Now I'm going to have to get creative and play Tetris. So obviously I have to play Tetris World Championships. I do have some boxes here. This is not the one that I'll probably use. And I'm going to probably need to use 2 or 3 of these boxes. Well, maybe I could fit it in there. To basically send this stuff off. So it's probably going to cost me maybe $60, $70 in postage, which doesn't really matter, right? Like in the grand scheme of things, I've probably got about, I think I priced it up to be about $1,400 worth of board games for $300, and I've already sold a couple of them, which has well and truly got my money back. So I would keep your eyes peeled for Dark Souls, the board game, which comes and goes really, because I picked this up when it first came out. It sat at that $100, because that's what I paid $100 for my copy. It sat at that $100 price point for the longest time. And it wasn't until I came across Bloodborne, which is also a From Software video game, very akin, well, made by the same people who made Dark Souls. You see, your piece by piece video game history and board games. So that, like I said, Dark Souls came with Bloodborne. I really wanted the Bloodborne because I knew Bloodborne would go for a bit of money because it's more niche. It's like Lovecraftian horror, like your Cthulhu and your ancient ones and all these different things. And hopefully you haven't fallen asleep by now. Mickey Mouse is coming up, I promise. But like I was saying is that, but then when I got this, a part of the deal, I thought, well, I'll piece out the Dark Souls stuff and sell them locally because it wouldn't be worth much money. So I've had mine sitting in the cupboard for years, untouched. It was just basically ripped, shrink wrap. then I comped it. It was like, for a brand new sealed copy, fully sealed, was about $350, and I have sold a couple at that price point. I did sell my my torn shrink wrap one. Jeez. I did sell that one for $300 plus postage. These ones, like I said, I've sold the whole set for about that $425 plus postage, $50. So I will do that tonight. I did luckily have 2 days postage on it, so I did sell yesterday. It will go out tomorrow. I'll probably start crying tonight, trying to wrap it and trying to box it in there for all those different things, because I want it to arrive to the buyer in a fantastic condition. These boxes are pristine. This person loved what he did. Loves the board games, obviously an avid board gamer person themselves. Like, I can't say they are a player if they're just getting their jollies by basically breaking it down to people to play. However, maybe that might be a side hustle if you're into board games, or if you're not wanting to go into board games, maybe break them down. Might be ready to play. Might be easier. It might be a side hustle you need to work out. So, like I'm saying, it's going to cause me a bit of issues tonight to try and fit them all into 2 boxes and go from that way. What else do I want to talk about? So we talked about that. We talked about that. I'm in the process of probably moving to a 3rd box of Skylander Giants. These are the ones that came in a couple of days ago. So I think Ava's gone through them and tested them all, so they're good to go. This will be my 4th tub of Giants. I've actually got, you can't really see off camera, those yellow tubs just there. So I've got 3 of those currently overflowing with Giants. So these ones are why they're in the box here. They're probably one of my best selling themes. So I am happy to do a little bit of reshuffling later on. But anyway, that's enough for us. If you do like this kind of content, consider liking, subscribing. I don't want to say share it to your friends because I'd never share any videos. So but yeah, like I said, these are the kind of videos I like doing, kind of giving you a bit of an indication, bit of an overhaul, a bit of a world according to Josh. By all means, I don't take it as gospel. Do your own research, do your own stance, run your business as you will. But like I was saying, with your low dollar items, if they are selling for $10 with free postage, even if you're picking up for free, I'd probably put them in bundles and sell them as a bundle with postage. But I would strongly reconsider, selling video games for $10 free postage. The only way I would recommend doing that, quite quickly before we wrap the episode up today, if you are below standard, because like our friend with his 3 strikes, quite possibly he is below standard now and eBay won't do anything about it. Right, wrong, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. But what I would recommend to that gentleman is that he goes and buys every, $4.99 free postage DVD that he can find. Obviously the cheaper the better. Have them on eBay, have video games on eBay, undercut the market by 10 to 15%, like $10 to $15. For example, that Pokemon Snap game that I sold for $30 plus post, sell for $19 plus post, because then you're actually getting transactions. So you need to get a certain amount of transactions over a 3-month period to be reconsidered, opposed to a 12-month period. If you do, let's just say, I think it's 400 transactions, I'm not too sure, and I have spoken about this before. If you do 400 transactions, and that's 400 individual items, right? So I do want to talk about this quite quickly. I promise I'll shut up one day. So when people say, like for example, I watch Tech and Sports and I watch Back from Burnout and I watch all these different people, right? And they say like Reselling Nirvana, right? I know that's probably that's probably been a saying that's been lost to time, because a lot of people don't like referencing that gentleman for some reason when they're talking about tech. But anyway, beside the point, people are all the dislikes start washing upon me. When people say, hey, look, if you list 50 items and you sell 50 items, does that mean 50 orders, in the sense that if you bought 3 Skylanders off me, does that class as one sale? Like if that was in the one order, does that class as one order? Or does that class as 50 items, like, going towards the 50 items? I can't get my head around it. If I say I listed 50 items and I sold 50 items, or does that mean that if someone bought 50 Skylanders, which, it's not unheard of. I've got an order that went out yesterday with 32 Skylanders, and Riley's going to come in later and pick out one for 12 or 13 Skylanders. So they do come in bulk. Does that mean that, I'm saying I'm updating 50 Skylanders on the variation listing, and 50 are going out? I'm not too sure. This is legitimate. I'm not taking the piss. I'm not, not trying to be smart or anything. I'm just trying to get my head around what the correct terminology is. Because to me, when people say, hey, I listed 50 things and sold 50 things, I would say, all right, if Grumpy Granny, for example, bought these two, I would class that as one order. So potentially maybe 470 Skylanders would be still under 50 orders. I would class that as 50 orders. So I do really want you to put in the comment section below, do you count things as individual items? So if someone comes in and buys 10 t-shirts, do you class it as 10 items? Or do you go, all right, that person only bought they bought 10 t-shirts under the one order, so that's only one item. I really, please put me out of my misery. I really need to know. So yeah, like I said, that meant to talk about that today, but I really almost forgot about it. It was just by virtue of something triggered to me there. So what we're going to do now, we're wrapping up. Let me know if I'm wrong about the postage. Let me know if I'm wrong about the going on the holidays thing. It's not really common knowledge, and I do want to bring it to people's attention. Even as a seasoned reseller, it's something that I don't think of on a regular basis. If you do go away for any period of time, you just do be very mindful of that eBay stances. And before this guy cracks the sads, and this is what I'll probably jump in the group chat a little bit later, the Facebook group a little bit later, is that these are in the terms and conditions that you accept when you sign up to eBay. If you run your own web store, if you sell on DibDit or you sell on District or whatever you sell over in the States, which we don't have, they might be governed by different terms and conditions themselves. So obviously you might have to refund within 3 days. But if you are selling on eBay, you really need to take into consideration the limitations of that system. And quite possibly, unless you want to turn off your store 6 months before you go on holiday, you gotta take the good with the bad. But that's it for now. We'll run straight into the Mickey Mouse Castle Illusion, featuring Mickey Mouse, starring Mickey Mouse, sorry. It's a little cartridge, I didn't have a thing with that. But like I said, one of the first games, they did make a remake on the computer probably about 10 years ago now. It feels like only yesterday. But it is a pretty good game. We'll run into it. We'll see you next time. Bye.
you.